The worm has turned in the US, and this trend will continue throughout the world. In the decades and years past, the elite, those who used bully tactics on the underclasses, who used wealth to buy a lifestyle, living on top of others, and who manipulated others through lies, lived high and well. As we have stated, the transformation is now, and the Council of Worlds and all the spirits in attendance during the Earth's transformation are not waiting for a pole shift to begin their work. So, when did the transformation begin? When the Earth was polled for its vote, just barely ahead of the time of Roswell, this set the stage for the transformation. When the poll was in, a true vote where every incarnating soul on Earth had equal weight, the transformation began. The sides had already squared off, with the service to self forces determined to win Africa and South America for their temporary residence, to reap souls for the service to self orientation. As we have announced, the battle in South America has already been won, and Africa is falling away from the service to self clutches. So how is this transformation progress manifesting throughout the world? Over the past 50 years, democracies have been on the increase. Similarly, the Green Movement has been growing worldwide, both in its influence and membership, and even in countries where media repression is severe and little noticed. The truth is increasingly finding its way out there. So where are these countries that repress? We have noted that Muslim countries can be very repressive in this manner. But it's important to recognize that the US, China, and Indonesia are not that different. Repression is not just about denying access to information. It's also about manipulating the content. In China and in Muslim countries, access to the internet is often restricted or outright denied. In Indonesia, civil penalties for slight infractions can cause the populace to live in fear. Over in the US, the major media is so controlled that the public either remains unaware of certain issues or is fed a slanted version of the truth. All these actions have the effect of restricting truth, whether it's because a citizen is afraid to talk to a neighbor or is confused by what they are hearing but cannot investigate further since no material exists explaining the issues. It all amounts to the same thing. What has changed as we move into this shift? The power of the truth, in its simplicity, is taking center stage these days. Just look at how the accounting practices of corporations like Enron, WorldCom and others were exposed recently. What is behind this? It's the transformation, which increasingly adopts the service to other outlook, that mankind should be empowered with the truth, allowed to make their own decisions, and not controlled inordinately by others. Each human who wishes for change is giving the call, and each is being answered based on what they can and might be inclined to do. Thus, human desire, along with the assistance of spirits in attendance during the transformation, are at the helm here. This is something the elite cannot control, and thus, these days, you can see a look of great fear in their eyes.